defined as social standards. The most unusual spoken of guidelines for behavior in a group is called social norms. Accepted behavior that an individual is expected to conform to a particular group, community, or culture. Norms are often used to develop correct behaviors. Psychologist Solomon Asch created an experiment where he used impression formation and many other topics in social psychology to develop new ideas on conformity. With this, he opened many doors for future research.
Ash wanted to find out exactly how strong the need to conform is influencing our behavior. Although conformity centers around other general concepts, such as agreeing to others' attitudes, ethics, beliefs, and morals, Ash chose to focus more on perceptual conformity. He chose to study conforming behavior on a simple visual comparison in order to examine this phenomenon in a controlled laboratory environment. If the power of conformity truly is what we give it credit for, then researchers should be able to manipulate a person's behavior by applying group pressure for them to conform. This is exactly what Ash set out to determine with his experiments.
How Ash decided to find out how powerful the need of conforming is influencing our behavior is by using comparison lines. This is when you have a pairs of cards, with three different vertical lines on one card with different lengths, and on another card a single standard line with the same length as one of the three vertical lines on the other card. Here is how the experimental process works. This girl walks into the experiment room and finds several other participants already seated in a row. She sits in one of the empty chairs at the end of the row. Then the experimenter reveals three lines of different lengths and asks the ones in the room to determine which of the three comparison lines is the same length as the standard line.
1
1
1
1.
1 1 1.
Everyone gives the correct answers and they move on to the next step. The card is changed and the same process happens, and once again, no problem. This person gives the correct answer along with the rest of the group.
Trial 2. Which one matches the standard?
2
2
2
2.
2 2 2.
Number 2 is the correct answer.
With the next trial, something weird happens. The card is revealed and immediately she chooses the correct answer, and the person thinks this is so easy. But then they start on the far end and everyone gives the wrong answer. Not just one person, but everyone decides to give the wrong answer.
Which one matches the standard?
3
3
3
3.
3 3.
Oh my gosh, what's going on? I think I'm gone insane. I'm stupid. No, they're stupid.
3.
She decided to take the answer that the rest of the group said as well.
Each participant took part in the experiment several times. 75% went along with the group consensus all at once. All combined participants agreed with the incorrect participants' answers at least 1/3 of the time. Just to make sure that they were accurate, individuals in a control group were asked to write down their answers to the line comparison so that they wouldn't hear others' answers. These individuals were correct 98% of the time.
The powerful effects of group pressures to conform were shown in Asch's study. If individuals are willing to conform to a group of strangers about an incorrect judgment, can you believe how much stronger it would be in real life, where more personal groups have a stronger force? It's been scientifically established that conformity is a major factor in human behavior.
The research were crucial because the real power of social pressure to conform was demonstrated clearly and scientifically for the first time. Then, the research sparked a huge wave of additional studies to continue right up to the present. Asch's studies have shown specific factors that determine the effects.
And here's some factors.
Attraction and commitment to the group. The more attracted and committed you are to a certain group, the more likely you are to conform or change your attitude and behavior to match those of the group. And how much you like the group and how well you're treated and feel like you belong, your will or tendency to change will be very strong.
Size of the group. At first, research by Asch demonstrated the tendency to conform increases as the size of the group increases. It was found that this connection was not so simple since this only holds for groups that are 6 to 7 members. Asch suggested this happens because as a group becomes larger, people may begin to suspect the other members of working together to affect the behavior and become resistant to the pressure.
Sex. Do men and women differ in their tendency or willingness to conform? Early studies that followed Asch's work indicated that women seem much more willing to conform than men. This finding was so strong and so frequently repeated that it entered the psychological literature as an accepted difference between the sexes. But this research drew this notion into question. It appears that many of the early studies, all conducted by men, inadvertently created testing conditions that were more familiar and comfortable for men in those days. Psychologists know that people are more willing to conform when placed in a situation for appropriate behavior are unclear. So the findings of this greater conformity among women may have simply been a systematic error caused by subtle and unintentional bias methods used. Research under better controlled conditions have failed to find the difference between the sexes in conformity behavior. To see more discussion on these gender-related issues, look up Sistrunk and McDavid, 1971.
Social support.
Asch conducted his same experiment with a slight variation. He altered the answers of the Confederates so that in the test condition, one of the 7 Confederates gave the correct answer. When this occurred, only 5% of the participants agreed with the group consensus. Apparently, a single ally is all you need to stick your guns and to avoid the pressure to conform. This finding has been supported by later studies.
Many other areas related to the issue of conformity have been studied. These things include things like cultural influences, the amount of information available when making decisions about conformity, personal privacy, and many other factors.
Asch's work on conformity has received widespread support. However, his work has also received criticism. One criticism concerns whether Asch's findings can be generalized outside of the lab and to the real world. This is a valid criticism for all research about human behavior that is carried out in a controlled laboratory setting. Some subjects may have been willing to go along with the group on something so unimportant as the length of a line, but in real life they may not conform as readily.
The factors showed to predict high-risk sexual behaviors, including conformity to peer group pressure. They can now understand how conformity pressures on people's choices about sexual behaviors that might be a valuable tool in fighting the contributing spread of HIV. Another study incorporating Asch's article explains why men are less likely to ask help than women, even if in dire need. Failure to ask for directions usually doesn't cause serious problems, but men also tend to resist seeking medical and mental health care, and that could be dangerous or even fatal. Authors suggest that one of these primary forces preventing men from seeking help is conformity, especially if a man greatly admires the person in his life who discourages or speaks badly of seeking help. Lastly, culture plays a large role in conformity. Research shows that in countries such as Japan or India, that there's higher levels of conformity than in the US. Such findings add to their ever-growing body of evidence that psychological research must never overlook the impact of culture on all human behaviors.
It's so awkward. It's just like, it's really awkward to do that.
Just do this then.
You fool.
Distracted.
To be that.
It's okay. Try again.
It soon becomes apparent that they all have similar views, which are opposite from your own opinions. Cut. Okay.
Trial 2. Now, which one is correct to the